Hi, and we're back. The TAKful Creator here. Let's get started. May God the Creator bless us. May God the Redeemer heal us. May God the Holy Spirit enlighten us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to do the work of God. Feet to walk the path of justice, and mouths to preach the good news. May the angel of peace, prosperity, love, abundance, guidance, and grace watch over us and lead us to the reign of God. Ashe, 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 ashe. Okay, Scorpio, so what's going on here? You guys needed a reading today, so we're gonna just jump right into it. And if you're not a Scorpio and you're listening to this reading, just know a Scorpio got something planned for you. Yep. A Scorpio was like, yep, I need a reading done today. I appreciate your likes, your shares, your subscribes. You're amazing. Your comments. Ooh, needs are met. Whatever personality flaws, just know that you need to assess the situation. Okay, because these personality flaws might actually be what helps you. Okay, so we have this tick or leech here. Now, you know what a tick or what a leech, they are feeding off of you. They're parasitical. Okay, so either this Scorpio is removing whatever parasitical relationships they have, or they're removing the need for them to be parasitical. Okay. Now, how can being parasitical show up? Well, that can mean you calling on someone's help all the time, but not asking them if they could use your help. That could be parasitical. You could be using people for finances, or maybe people need to expend a certain level of finances on you in order for you to hold up your end of the bargain, and because they're offering you more than what you're giving, that could be parasitical. And you don't always have to take that for yourself. You could take that for how other people interact with you. Okay, so far we know that there's some kind of relationship here that someone needs to build a bridge and get over, right? So it's like you're probably not letting people attach themselves to you like that anymore, and they need to build a bridge and get over it. I actually have a shirt like that. That's one of my favorite shirts. There's something, and look, we have Scorpio again, so there's something with a Scorpio in a front, side, or backyard. Okay, so maybe they're inquiring about a front, side, or backyard. They're in a front, side, or backyard. Just something, and maybe they need to go and ground themselves in a front, side, or backyard. I know this is the backyard beat, so I'm like in the backyard. And we have the Scorpio again that is doing something on the dark web or black market. Okay, so they're doing something that is requiring some kind of secrecy, some kind of privacy, right? But in actuality, it's something that you shouldn't trust, right? Don't trust it, because it could be the leech or tick energy that you're trying to get away from. Okay, it might accrue some kind of baggage that could leave you in kind of like a demonic entrapment, or have the popo involved. Okay, so just be wary. Okay, this could have to do with concessions, maybe concessions in a phone or cell. So what do I get by concessions? I'm getting like the food industry, right? And then a phone or cell could be like contacting someone that works concessions, or maybe someone's going to contact you about working concessions, and like, don't trust it. Don't trust it. It's someone trying to leech off of you because they don't realize how royal you are. Okay, they think you're average. They think you're like everyone else. This has something to do with an SUV or truck. Okay, so you might be a caregiver of the elderly who has an SUV or truck, but you're gladiator status. Okay, what does that mean? That means that you're expensive, but you provide a lot of utility. Okay, there's something with a phone and a truck. This truck could definitely be a gladiator, something that has to do with the elderly. So maybe you're going to be contacted about a phone or truck by someone who could be deemed the elderly, or maybe the Scorpio is contacting the elderly about a truck. Okay, concessions, that can mean maybe getting food. So maybe this Scorpio is going to get food, and so they asked if the elderly would like to partake in whatever food that they're getting. That's gladiator status, right? We're talking about the status of your frequency. If we were matching up your frequency to cards, yeah, that's such a nice thing for you to do, because you're not being a tick or leech. You're not trying to use people. In actuality, you are offering benefit to other people. Look in your physical sight. There's some kind of disrespect. Okay. Hi, Divine. Can you show me no? Thank you. Can you show me yes? That we're on the right track? And maybe we need a double back, baby. So do I have to check my physical sights? No, but the Scorpio needs to check their physical sights, because there's some kind of disrespect happening in their face. Does it have to do with the elderly? No. Okay, so they're over here doing something kind, and while they're doing something kind, someone else is disrespecting them behind their back, right? But it's because they need to, this energy over here needs to build a bridge and get over it. Like the Scorpio is really not dealing with this excess baggage, but for some reason the other energy is like, no, you're gonna deal with it. And again, this is not the elderly. Okay, so this is a separate energy. Dining in, that could be with the concessions. So something about a girl. A girl that is not okay. All right, so when we talk about octopuses, we're talking about an animal with 8 arms, because they have so many skills. Their dexterity is beyond, right? And just like with squids, octopuses, they live a very long life. They can be seen like jellyfish as immortal, but their lifespan is a lot shorter. So to me, it's like there's this girl or gal that has this kind of like matured, like skilled and like immortal essence, but they want them to be in the cemetery, right? They want them to die and be put to rest. And we're not getting a death and rebirth process. We're not getting the death of a mindset, the death of something theoretical. We're getting a physical death, right? So much so that there's no point in reviving this energy. It needs to be put to rest completely, right? Now, is this... So we had 2 cards that fell. We have a rhino here and then the evergreen. So when we talk about a rhino, what does a rhino have? It has one massive tusk. Why? Because it focuses all their energy on protecting themselves with that tusk. Okay? Now, what do people do with rhinos? They, in a sense, try to kill them because their tusk is made of ivory, right? Not only are they massive in size, extremely strong, but their essence, what's a part of their body, holds, I guess, a lot more weight than, you know, their symbolism. Okay, because you can sell the ivory for a lot more than you can sell a rhino type of thing. You can make the ivory into a whole bunch of things, right? There's so much utility there, like we were talking about the gladiator. But with this evergreen nature, what happens with evergreen trees in the winter? They live, they thrive. What happens to them in the summer? They still live and thrive. So why is this evergreen in reverse? It's because you want something that is supposed to live and thrive throughout the seasons. Live and thrive that for an extended period of time naturally. You want it to have a short lifespan. You want it to die very quickly. And because of that, now we're getting this, now we're seeing why the Scorpio wants to remove itself from this tick or leech-like behavior, is because they're lost. And like the faith that they're going to make it through like the darkest of times is... All right, let's finish up because the camera keeps dying. All right, so this Scorpio has lost faith, right? There's some kind of large blockage, because that's what I'm getting by this hippo, right? Because the hippopotamus, like outside of the spelling of it, right? What do you think of them? What do you think when you view a hippopotamus? They are grotesquely large. They usually are a symbol of like slothness, but like their recumbency, right? The fact that they don't move and do all of this extra stuff is because of their size, right? Because of how they look. Whereas a sloth, you know, their physical aesthetic makes it look like they can do a lot. They just choose not to, right? That's their way of thriving. But with the hippo, they're meant to be lazy. They're meant to not do a lot. Why? Because they're a symbol of fertility. They're also a symbol of water, right? And that is usually meaning like flow, fluidity. Okay, so they're generally peaceful yet powerful. Why? Because a hippopotamus is huge. Like an elephant, they have to birth live animals that are almost their size as an infant. So what does this do? It gives them the ability to move gracefully, focus on grace, right? Why? Because everything about them screams the opposite. But when you are creating something, you need the world to accept it. You need the world to embrace it and support it. The only way you can do that is if you have everyone on the bandwagon, right? So when you are being regal and you're a queen, you're a king, and you need your subordinates or your followers to follow your lead, how do you best interact with them? You're charming. You let them know of all the stuff that you are going to do for them, that you're going to create for them, how you're going to protect the innocence that they have and the purity that they have. Like, you are catering to the non-tangible aspects of a person, and that's what the hippo symbolizes, right? The non-tangible assets of a person. Now, technically, tangibly, they can birth a human, but it is their ability to be fruitful even in the most chaotic sceneries, right? Because, like, if you think about it, a hippo is in the water. It's usually in dirty water. It's very much like an alligator, where it's kind of like in the mud. Like, it's in the most grueling parts of the world, yet the symbolism behind them is so powerful, right? They're such docile creatures. For them to have such magnitude and size, they don't eat meat. They're herbivores. So it's like you see smaller animals eat meat, yet you see these large, technically ugly animals, you know, thrive on vegetation, thrive on not being aggressive, right? Not being volatile. And when you're not in that aggressive or volatile energy, it's much easier to create. It's much easier to be fertile, right? And that's what the himbo, here, you hear me, this is what the hippo symbolizes. But unfortunately, we have this in reverse. So because the Scorpio has lost faith, they lost the ability to be fertile in their endeavors. Okay, so this gladiator status is being removed from them, right? And they think it's just, you know, because of the leeches that are attacking them, when they're not realizing, like, maybe some of the people that they deemed a leech weren't leeches. Like, it's just the perception that was around them, taking and taking, because the Scorpio didn't realize what they were gaining from them, right? So let's say, for example, right, they care for the elderly. They feel like the elderly constantly take from them, right? They constantly, you know, possibly use them for phone calls or text or notifications. They offer it all the time. They need them to use their SUV or truck all the time, you know, to maybe go get things or take them places and stuff like that. And although they appear as gladiator status, right, they're thinking of this as a way to take away from them, because they weren't seeing the benefit to all of this. And what could be a benefit? The concessions, maybe dealing with food, right? The rhino with the stupid hoe, sinister magic, a side hustle, let go of material items. And that could be what the Scorpio feels like, you know, the elderly is infringing upon them. That's probably what they feel like this person who wants to put them in a cemetery or grave feels about them, right? They're sending sinister magic, but at the end of the day, you're going to be protected. Why? Because your side hustle is letting go of what no longer suits you. You already know how to do this. You already did it with the ticks and leech. So dine in. I'm not really getting food. I'm getting dine very much to like what you take in, the nourishment that you take in. And you're dining in, meaning that you are eating food specific to help your internal progression, your internal world. Okay, so look around at what disrespect is happening, because the disrespect that you see very casually, don't trust it. Okay, don't trust it. Don't trust the people who may be saying like, oh, it's not disrespect, da, da, da. Don't trust them either. Why? Because they're trying to put this girl or gal in a graveyard, or this girl or gal is trying to put this Scorpio in a graveyard. And at the end of the day, we do not subscribe. Okay, you want to be in this hippo-like energy, right? Having faith and seeing how the fruits of your labor will cultivate more and bigger and better, not the opposite. Okay, so on that note, I say keep your head up and look at this opportunity as an opportunity. Okay, because if you look at this as an opportunity and feel deeply about it, if you're able to look at helping the elderly as an opportunity, then you'll see the disrespect that is actually happening to you and be able to stop it in its tracks, opposed to feeling like the disrespect is happening from this energy and maybe like energies, and you still have to constantly deal with it because you're not really attacking it at its source. Okay, so I wish us all the best. I'll see you soon. Until the next.